Good evening, Raider baseball fans, and welcome to another exciting game of Rouse Raider baseball. We've had some technical difficulties getting started, but we think we've got things taken care of and we're getting things on track. Good evening, everybody. I'm Michael Francis alongside
And I'm Scott Mount tonight.
Scott's going to be working with us, so we're going to be working these kinks out as your Rouse Raiders are taking on the Lorena Panthers. Is that correct?
I believe they're the Lorena Leopards.
Leopards.
And if all of them are listening, welcome to our network tonight, Leopard fans. Glad that y'all are here at our stadium tonight.
So we're working out a few kinks here. And we do have some assistance from the great Rob Hipp helping us get things underway here on Raider Field. Now batting for Lorena, number 3, Ben Schmedsheimer. And on the
we've got Matthew Garcia on the mound tonight, folks.
On the mound for the Raiders,
Matthew's one of our senior players. Been in the program since pre-freshman, going back to CPYL days.
The 0-2 pitch is cut on and fouled off down the third base side. And the count will remain 0-2. As my great radio days of yore, radio hero broadcasting for the Texas Rangers, Mark Holt says it's baseball time in Texas. This pitch is cut on and driven out to right center. Smedgehammer around first, and throw in will drive him back to first for a single. 2 outs with 1 on here in the top of the first. No score in this contest as of yet, and that'll bring up number 16, Ustenic. And I do apologize, folks, we don't have first names that were given to us by the Lorena coaching staff. 1 on with 2 outs. A pitch upstairs for ball 1. Garcia picks up the sign. He toes in on the rubber. Throws over to first. Not in time. And Smedgehammer dives back in. Beautiful night here in Leander. Flags being blown toward the north. Wind out of the south. Pitch from Garcia is cut on and hit foul down the third base side into the Leopard dugout. One and one, the count to Ustenic. Garcia comes set, steps off, throws first. Not in time as Smedgehammer dives back in. Just in time. It was pretty close there, Scott.
Yeah, it sure looked like he had him on that one. Matthew's got a really good pickoff move that might be surprising these Leopards after a while. There he goes
over
again.
To first again. Not in time as Little was pulled off the bag. Just a bit. Count still 1-1. Garcia comes set. Checks runner at first. Pitch is cut on. Hit back to Garcia. Throws over to Little in time, and the side is retired. No runs. 1 hit. 1 left on as we go to the bottom with a scoreless ball game here on Rouse Raider Field. So good to have you with us tonight, Scott.
I appreciate being here. First time, senior parent, and Appreciate SHN being our broadcaster for the second year in a row. They've done an outstanding job. And to all of our alumni that might be listening, thanks for tuning in. We're going to have a great night of baseball, first full day of a tournament. I believe we go all the way to Saturday, don't we?
We do. Saturday will be 3 games. Now, we will only be broadcasting tonight and tomorrow night.
Tonight and tomorrow night. So that's an incentive to come out to the ballpark. The ballpark has never looked any better. It really looks good with all the rain we've had.
So I want to give a big shout out to Rob for working so diligently this week to update our SHN Sports baseball scoreboard, and has given us some functionality, newer functionality on it. And he's helping us back in studio right now to get everything working and up to speed for this broadcast tonight. So my apologies, folks, for the technical difficulties in the pregame. But we'll get back on track and bring this game to you tonight.
I can't hear anything in here. Am I supposed to?
Can you hear anything now? Jake Aleppo leading off for the Raiders. As he takes ball 2. The 2-0 pitch leaves his bat out there for a called strike. That'll bring the count to 2-1. The 2-1 pitch just in the zone for strike 2. That'll bring the count even at 2. Livingston on the hill for the Leopards. This pitch cut on and fouled off. Count will remain 2-2.
You know, Michael, last week at our tournament in Corpus, Jake got a new nickname. They couldn't pronounce it. It was Aleppo.
Aleppo.
So that's become his new nickname for the rest of the season.
Pitch from Livingston outside. That'll take the count full. Payoff pitch. Down and away for ball 4. One on with no outs here in the bottom of the first for Mr. Porter as he stands in. Throw over in time, not in time, as Aleppo dives back in. Porter batting from the left side. Pitch from Livingston. That's cut on and hit out to left. That's going to fall in for a base hit. That'll move Aleppo to second. Runners at first and second.
Dalton continues to have a great year at the plate. He had an outstanding tournament last weekend in Corpus, and it's clear why he's a commit to UT.
Number 22, Connor Bennett, digs in from the right side. Livingston checks Aleppo back at second. Deals a pitch. Misses low for ball 1. Two on with no outs here in the bottom of the first in a scoreless ball game. Both teams have a hit on the board. Bennett digs back in. Livingston comes set. Checks Aleppo back at second. Takes another look. Deals a pitch in for a called strike. Gets the bottom of the zone with a little fastball. That'll even the count at 1. Once again, this Michael Francis and Scott Mount bringing you Rouse Raider baseball. The 1-1 pitch from Livingston. Misses low for ball 2. Two and one, the count to Connor Bennett. Dalton Porter extends his lead at first. Aleppo the same at second base. Hit right up the middle. Shortstop juggles it. That's going to be an E6 on the fielder's choice.
Yeah, Michael, the shortstop certainly had a play there, but it wasn't able to hold on to the ball. And now the Raiders have bases loaded.
Bases loaded for Lance Little, who can definitely be dangerous with the bat in his hands. He has known to put it over the fence.
Lance is another player that had an outstanding tournament in Corpus.
Ducks on the pond with bases loaded for Lance Little. The pitch from Livingston. Hanging curveball in for a strike. 0-1 the count to Little. The 0-1 pitch drops in another curveball for strike 2, and Little finds himself in a hole here quickly. Livingston picks up the sign. The pitch, a fastball cut on and fouled back to the backstop. Count will remain 0-2. Bases loaded with no outs here in the bottom of the first in a scoreless ball game between the Lorena Leopards and your Rouse Raiders. Fastball upstairs for ball 1. One and two the count to Little. Pitch for Livingston. That's cut on. That's hit out. That's going to fall in for a base hit to the left center. Center fielder has it. 2 runs will score. Number 23, Jared Southard, comes to the plate. He'll dig in from the right side. Runners at first and second with no outs. Here in the bottom of the first, Rouse with a 2-run lead.
And Jared's another senior, had an outstanding career here at Rouse. He is a University of Texas commitment, and he is a dangerous hitter, especially with the wind blowing out to left. See if he can make a play here.
Livingston toes in on the rubber from the stretch. Southard shows bunt, lays off. Throw down to second, not in time. Pitch in for a strike. The 0-1. That's cut on and hit out to left. That's going to fall in for a base hit. Bennett rounds third base and holds up, and that'll load the bases once more. Full of Raiders. Number 1, Dylan Lewis, comes to the plate. Bases loaded for Lewis. Livingston deals. Check swing and a foul down the first base side.
Dylan, another senior on this varsity team that lost quite a few last year.
Lost 16 seniors to graduation. The 0-1 pitch from Livingston, that's cut on down the first base side. Foul, and that'll take the count to 0-2. We're in the bottom of the first. Raiders leading the Leopards 2-0. 2 runs on 3 hits. The 0-2 pitch to Lewis. This is cut on and hit out to deep left. Catch is made. Bennett tags up and will easily score.
Good RBI for Dylan Lewis tonight. Good way to start off.
Runners at first and second. For Isaac Upchurch. The pitch from Livingston. That's chopped on and fouled back out of play. Nothing in one, the count to Upchurch. Pitch from Livingston. Check swing and called strike. And Upchurch behind 0-2. Jared Southard at first base and Lance Little at second. Livingston checks Little at second. Comes home from stretch swing and a miss. Throw down to first. Will not be in time, but Upchurch is struck out for the first out.
The 2 outs brings the pitcher, number 3, Matt Garcia.
Take that back. Second out. Lewis flew out. Matt Garcia stands in. He takes for strike one.
Matthew, another one of our few seniors on the varsity.
Livingston from the stretch comes set. The 0-1 pitch to Garcia is
Got a piece of it.
fouled off for strike 2. Raiders jumping on pitches early tonight. Livingston checks Sutter at first. He looks a little back at second. Throws to second, not in time as Little dives back in. Throw to the shortstop, Smedjammer. Livingston once again comes set. Catcher pointing to first. This is chopped on and fouled out of play into the visiting Leopard bullpen. Count will remain 0-2. Two strikes to Matthew Garcia. Pitch for Livingston for a called strike and catches Garcia looking for out number 3.
That concludes the inning, and after 1, Rouse 3, Lorena 0.
Well, Michael, I believe you're right. The Raiders came out swinging this first inning. Looks like Coach Crimpine is going to be aggressive right out of the box tonight.
Well, after one complete, your Rouse Raiders lead 3-0 over the Lorena Leopards. They get 3 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 left on. On to the second we go. Matthew Garcia back out on the hill for the Raiders. Well, it's a nice, clear night. Weather is much improved over what it was earlier in the week.
Certainly has. We have currently 65 degrees, but a strong wind out of the east here. But certainly an improvement of what we had earlier in the week, and certainly an improvement what we had faced down in Corpus.
Raiders come into tonight's game after having defeated Austin High earlier in the day. Do you have the final on that game, Scott?
I believe it was 8-5 at one time. The Raiders were down, and they were able to come back. And let me get a confirmation on that.
Number 8, the left fielder, Bell, now stands in from the right side as he cuts on this one, sends it foul down the third base side for strike 1. The 0-1 pitch from Garcia. Fisher Kingsbury behind the plate tonight for your Raiders. He tags Bell right in the back and will put a man on.
Now, Bell certainly wore that one. He walks down to first uninjured, but that's going to leave a stinger. I've got confirmation. The earlier game was Rouse Raiders 8, Austin High was 6.
Number 22, Robinson, the right fielder, stands in from the right side. 1 on with no outs here in the top of the second. Matthew Garcia on the bump for the Raiders as he delivers a nice-looking curveball in for a called strike. Nothing in 1, the count to Robinson. Bell extends his lead at first. The throw over, not in time. Bell slides back in. Garcia checks Bell at first. From the stretch, comes set. Throw over to first, not in time. Garcia picks up the sign from Kingsbury. Curveball right down the pipe, but didn't get the call. That'll even the count up at 1 for Robinson. One pitch. This is cut on and hit to second. Throw over to second in time. Not in time to turn the double play as Bell is out at second base. Robinson hits it to the fielder's choice. And Raiders able to get the lead runner out at second. Number 4, Strand, now stands in, batting from the right side. Pitch misses low for ball one. Garcia takes a little time, rubs the ball, resets, toes back in on the rubber. Robinson extends his lead at first. Garcia delivers curveball in for a called strike. That'll even the count up at one. One on with one out here in the top of the first. Raiders leading this one 3-0 over the Leopards. 1-1 pitch from Garcia. In for a called strike. 1-2 the count.
Really good pitch on that last throw there. Straight down the middle.
Strand steps out of the box and back in. Robinson again. He's staying pretty close to that bag. Garcia is not shy about throwing over. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss from Strand for out number 2.
With 2 outs, 6 number 12, Schrader, second baseman.
All right. Well, you should be able to see the scoreboard now, so should be all good. Pitch gets the outside corner down and away as number 12, Schrader, stands in. Also from the right side. Robinson still tethered to first base. The 0-1 drops in for an 0-2. Two strikes to Schrader. One on with 2 outs. Garcia delivers. This one's high and inside for ball 1.
And brushed him back a little bit, didn't it?
It did. Just a skosh. 1-2 the count to Schrader. Pitch from Garcia. This is cut on. This is going to fall in for a Texas leaguer. Robinson rounds second to third base, and the ball goes into the dugout, and they're going to award Robinson home.
That's a frustrating
Score
play
one.
there for a player.
One you hate to give up, and that'll advance Schrader to third.
It looked like Dillon tripped on his way to the ball, and then the right fielder had to come in to make the play.
That'll bring up number 1, Williams. Williams, a center fielder for the Leopards. Garcia delivers inside pitch for a called strike. That was a little too inside.
Just a bit inside.
Just a bit inside. Falls in for a strike. Rouse will take it, of course. Pitch down and away for ball 1. That'll even the count up at 1. One on with 2 outs. A runner at third. Schrader stands at third. Williams at the plate. Pitch from Garcia. Swing and a miss for strike 2. Nice little hanging curveball that Williams chased. Garcia checks Schrader at third. He comes set. Batter calls time. Raiders leading this one in the top of the first, 3-1. Pitch from Garcia. That's cut on and fouled back. Count will remain 1-2.
Looking down at the stands, we have quite a few fans from the Lorena area tonight. Appreciate everyone coming out.
It's in the beginning throes of baseball. Next week we'll start our district schedule. 1-2 in for called strike 3 as Garcia retires the side, but Lorena able to score 1. They strand 1. 1 run on 1 hit, no errors. They strand 1. On to the bottom of the second we go with your Rouse Raiders leading this one 3-1. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. Glad to have you with us tonight. I'm Michael Francis alongside Scott Mount tonight. And it is a beautiful night for baseball. On to the bottom of the second we go. Livingston back on the mound to pitch the second for the Leopards. Head coach Chad Crimpine making his way down to the third base coaching box. And what a pleasure we have my former broadcast partner, Mark Glenn, in the press box with us. Just walked in and surprised us. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are
Now,
you?
now the pressure's on.
Pressure's on.
And
How are you guys?
Doing well. Doing well. Man, it is so good to see you, Mark.
it's good to have another Aggie here in the press box. Whoop.
Yeah, we're set to get things started as Tanner Robbins stands in for the Raiders, number 4. As he takes for strike 1.
Tanner's one of our up-and-coming players that's having a good year.
The 0-1 pitch outside and low. That leaving the count up at 1. Livingston winds and deals. Pitch in for a called strike. Robbins falls behind 1-2. The pitch from Livingston, that's cut on and hit foul down the third base line. The count will remain 1-2. Mark, a Rouse Raider alumnus parent. This is cut on and hit out to left. Fielder over makes the catch. That is Bell.
Now, Bell was right there and made a really good catch and was able to intercept that.
And retires.
Aleppo back up at the plate with his new nickname.
Yeah, Lipa. Pitch from Livingston. Just catches the top of the zone for strike 1. Mark, the father of Jared and Jackson. Pitch in for a strike. The count to 0-2, and both went to A&M, correct, Mark?
They are. They're both there now.
The 0-2 pitch from Livingston in for strike 3. See, catches Aleppo. Catches Aleppo looking for out number 2.
And it's that outside corner that the umpire is sometimes calling, sometimes not.
That'll bring up the hard-hitting Dalton Porter. Porter Jr. for the Raiders as he takes strike 1. In the bottom of the second, your Rouse Raiders lead 3-1 over the Lorena Leopards. Porter takes for ball one. That'll even the count up at 1. 2 out with nobody on here in the bottom for the Raiders. Livingston winds. He deals. This pitch in the dirt for ball 2. The pitch. Swing and a miss.
He chased that one outside a little bit.
Painted that one on the outside corner and gets Porter to swing at it. Deuce is wild for Dalton Porter. The pitch in for called strike 3.
Inside corner again.
He paints it and does well. On to the third we go with your Rouse Raiders leading the Lorena Leopards 3-1. Raiders get no runs, no hits, no errors, and strand nobody.
Mark, would you like to put the
On
set
to the
back
third
on?
we go. Put the headset on, Mark, just for a moment. We get Scott. I got me a new broadcast partner this year with Scott Mount.
It's just like old times.
It's just like old times right here. Good to have Mark Glenn with us tonight. So, how are Jackson and Jared doing at A&M in their collegiate careers?
Well, I think they're doing pretty good. I don't get to talk to them too often, but I did stop by Tuesday a week ago and took them out to lunch. I was out in the area for business, and I think they're doing pretty good.
Well, great, man. Yeah. Man, it's good to hear your voice back on the airwaves.
Well, I've caught your broadcast a few times over the last year and a half, and it's always good. It's great to be back out at the ballpark. It's just something about this place.
Oh, well, we watched our boys play a lot of baseball here.
Yeah, it's just a magical place, and always love to be out here.
Right. And, of course, all that you put in and coaching these boys in summer and fall baseball.
Well, and so this senior class will be the last group that I had the pleasure of coaching. And so after those guys graduate, then I don't know a lot of these other guys' names, but these seniors here will be my last familiar faces, yeah.
Livingston leading off the third for the Leopards. Garcia back on the hill. This one is hit and taken foul down the left field side for strike 1. With a long strike. Garcia gets a fresh baseball and loses the handle on it.
Garcia's looked pretty good. He's changing speeds really well and hitting some pretty good spots.
The 0-1 pitch. Low and away for ball 1. He's been spotting his curveball really well, and it's worked effectively for him through 2 innings. The 1-1 pitch from Garcia misses down and away for ball 2. Two and 1 the count to Livingston. Pitch from Garcia. That is cut on and hit foul for strike 2. That'll even the count up at 2. From the windup, the 2-2 pitch. That curveball that Livingston sits on and takes it foul.
He wanted to lay off that thing, but it was breaking hard. He knew that was going to drop in there.
And was able to get a piece of it. The count will remain 2-2. Pitch from Garcia, swing and a miss as Livingston chases strike 3.
And he kind of blew that fastball by him. He's, like I said, he's changing speeds very well and snuck that fastball right by him.
Number 7, the catcher, Forrest, now stands in from the right side. Swing and a miss. And that's that curveball that he's pitched so effectively so far through 3 innings. He drops that one in for strike 1. The 0-1 got him to chase outside.
Yeah, and that's more of a slider there, so the speed is varied, and then he'll kind of spot that fastball, maybe try to keep it out of the strike zone, and then he'll come back in with that curveball. And
well, he's working all around the plate, and he's doing a very effective job. The 0-2, another curveball.
Yeah, very nice.
Swing and a miss for strike 3 as he gets Forrest on 3 consecutive strikes. 2 outs with nobody on here in the top of the 3rd. Your Rouse Raiders leading 3-1 over the Lorena Leopards. That'll bring up Smedhammer. Cuts on and fouls one off for strike 1. Two outs with nobody on here in the top of the 3rd. Garcia toes in, delivers high and outside for ball 1. That'll even the count.
Nice.
Pitch upstairs for a strike. For a called strike. Gets the top of the zone. Take a count 1 and 2. 1-2 pitch. That is popped up. Dalton Porter tracks it, makes the catch, and the side is retired. 1, 2, 3 go the Leopards, and on to the bottom we go with your Rouse Raiders leading the Lorena Leopards 3-1. Leopards, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. And on to the bottom we go here in Leander, Texas. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. Well, that was a good 1-2-3 inning, Mark.
He was. He's doing a great job on the mound, just keeping them off balance, and you know, here again, changing speeds is a big deal, and you know, he's spotting those curveballs very well. You know, getting them off track with the fastball, and he's looking pretty good.
Livingston back on the hill for Lorena.
Well, and I forgot how nice the weather is inside this press box.
Right.
Yeah, it's a nice 75 degrees in here, and although no wind, and I always forget when I leave the house that it's always 10 degrees colder or 10 degrees hotter out here at this field. And
right. Yeah, always has been. That's for sure.
That breeze is blowing pretty hard. Mr. Francis, I'm going to get out of here, but it's always a pleasure. I enjoyed it again.
Thanks for coming up in the press box and visiting us.
Well, thanks for having me.
It's good to hear your voice back on the air again.
It's good to be here, and I'll be around watching a little baseball this year.
All right, good deal.
Yeah, folks, you won't find any better mentor than Mark Glenn.
Great
Outstanding
guy.
mentor to myself and a lot of these young men.
Connor Bennett stands in. He drives this one foul back out of play for strike 1.
We entered the program and we were freshmen, I believe. You and Mark were sophomore parents, and we were welcomed in. And
Livingston drops the 1-1 in for a strike.
he was a really good guide.
Just one of those great guys that you run into in life that, you know, he's always helping people to be better. 1-2 pitch. Cut on and hit foul down the left field side. 1-2 the count to Bennett. Livingston has a sign for Forrest. Curveball. Cut on and missed for strike 3. 1 away.
That brings up the first baseman, number 26.
That'll bring up
Little.
Lance Little. Last time Little came to the plate, he had bases loaded. Nobody on for him this time. 1 out. As he faces Livingston for the second time. Livingston seemed like he's starting to dial in.
I think so. Looks like Livingston's a lot more comfortable these last few innings.
As he paints the corner.
He's got really good control.
And he is working that corner. As he gets another called strike. Nothing at 2 the count. As I think they're calling a foul ball. Or they call him out. No,
He's safe on first.
safe on first. Dude, I guess a confusing call from the umpire. Looked like he had given a different type of call, but that'll put Little on first to the drop third strike.
Jared has another opportunity to get advance a runner over to second.
Southern takes for strike 1. One on with 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Livingston delivers. This one cut on and hit out to right. This is going to fall in for a base hit. One little Texas leaguer.
One of those Texas leaguers, the second baseman, lost it up in the lights, went behind him, and the right fielder was not able to come in and make the play.
Runners at first and second with 1 out here in the bottom of the third for Dylan Lewis.
Let's see if Raiders get something going here.
Lewis digs in from the right side. Pitch misses outside for ball 1. Last time that Southern and Little were on in these positions, they were stranded. Let's hope that's not the case this time. Livingston comes set. Checks Little back at second. He delivers this one high for ball 2. Two 2-0 the count to Lewis. Lewis drove in an RBI. The 2-0, this is hit back up the middle to the second baseman. Loses the handle on it. Shortstop there to pick it up in time for the double play.
Really good play by the shortstop
1,
after
2,
Bob.
And that'll retire the side.
After
Raiders.
bobbling that play, he was able to pick it up and
Raiders strand 2, or actually strand 1 on the double play and get out of the inning for the Leopards. A potential dangerous situation. On to the fourth we go. Raiders get no runs, no hits, 1 left on. After 3 complete, your Rouse Raiders lead the Leopards 3-1.
Michael, at this time, I'd like to recognize a few of the outstanding sponsors that we have for the Raider baseball program. We have a new sponsor this year, Bohemian Barbecue, out of City of Jonestown, Texas. They are our barbecue supplier tonight at our concession stand. Also reach out to the Williamson County Deputies Association. They've been a long-time sponsor, and this is their 4th year to sponsor the team.
Definitely thank our sponsors for sponsoring Rouse Raider baseball. We've had many good sponsors over the years.
We certainly have. We're a fortunate program.
Matthew Garcia back out on for the 4th. Fisher Kingsbury behind the plate. Les Little at first, Dylan Lewis at second. Connor Bennett at short, Isaac Upchurch at third base. That'll take care of the infield. Garcia has a sign from Kingsbury. Deals a curveball inside for ball 1. Batting for the Leopards, number 16, Ustenick. Hits this one foul for strike 1. That'll even the count up to 1. I think I had mismarked his first pitch as a strike. Got some activity going over in the Leopard bullpen. Can't see his number.
I can't.
1-1 pitch from Garcia. Gets the outside corner for strike 2. Well, I've been impressed with what I've seen from Garcia so far tonight. He has really worked all around that plate.
He certainly is. He's in control of all of his pitches.
The 1-2 pitch. That's cut on and hit back up the middle. That's through into center field. Porter has it. That'll be a base hit for Ustenick.
Ustenick hit a good ball right there into the gap. Shortstop just wasn't quite able to get there.
1 on with no outs here in the top of the 4th. That'll bring up Bell, the left fielder. Ustenick gets a lead at first. Garcia comes set from the stretch. Pitch, that's in the dirt. Kingsbury on it pretty quick. It's called a strike. One strike to Bell. Garcia throws over to first, not in time. The thing that I do notice about his pickoff, he leaves his throw up kind of high.
Leaves it just a tad high. It's got a quick move, but
he needs to bring it just a little bit lower, and he'll pick that guy off. The pitch, curveball in for a called strike.
once again, really good control on all of his pitches, mixing them up.
Outstanding performance so far by Garcia. Throw over to first. Not in time. That was a close one.
That was closer.
Ustenick goes in standing up. Abel getting loose for the Leopards as Bell swings and misses for strike 3.
Bell chased that outside throw that Garcia's been able to command all night long.
One out on first, number 9. I'm sorry, number 22. Robbins subsequently.
Number 22, Robinson, the right fielder, digs in from the right side.Ustinic, the base runner at first. One on with one out. Here in the top of the fourth, the throw over from Garcia, and obviously he's been listening to the broadcast. Does he threw that one a little lower?
He certainly did. He's going to get this fella.
The pitch, this one is popped up and goes about 5 foot foul outside the first baseline.
I was really worried about that one hanging up in the wind and blowing back fair. The right fielder was out of position.
One strike to Robinson. Your Rouse Raiders leading this one 3-1. Here in the top of the fourth. Throw to first. Not in time as that one went a little bit high.
Garcia keeps working him, keeping him close to the bag.
As Little applies the tag to the helmet, but the hand is on the bag.
The hand is on the bag.
The 0-1, this is hit foul down the first base side. Lost his space going on up here in the press box. Notification or a ringtone. Danger, Will Robinson. And just so happens that Robinson is at the plate. Throw over. Oh, my goodness. I think he might have actually got him that time.
I think so, but
he didn't get the call.
The umpire saw it differently.
Ustanik dives back in time.
Maybe we should have the umpire tune into our broadcast.
Maybe. Throw over to first again. I think he's definitely made more throws to first than he has to the plate in this at bat. 2 strikes to Robinson.
Leopards are getting on Garcia now a little bit from their dugout.
The 0-2 pitch to Robinson. Curveball. It's cut on, and it's going to go in for an infield hit. Actually, yeah, it'll be an infield hit as the runner ran on the pitch and pulled the second baseman toward the bag and out of position to play the ball.
Really good hit and run there by the Leopards on that one there. Their coach sent the runner just as the hit was coming in, and that ball was at the right position, almost like a bunt.
Runners at first and second, and for the first time tonight, the Leopards have 2 men on.
Leopards have a small rally going here.
Number 4, Strahan, the designated hitter. Batting from the right side, a strikeout victim, his first at bat. The pitch, this is going to hit back up the middle. This is going to go through for a base hit. This will score Ustanik.
Yeah, Michael, that ball took a really bad hop when it went past the pitcher. He wasn't able to get a hold of it. Made its way all the way into center field.
And the Leopards cut in to the Rouse Raider lead. Again with 2 men on. Runners at first and second. Robinson and Strahan, respectively. That'll bring up number 12, Schrader. the second baseman. Throw back to second, not in time. Two on with one out. One run is scored in the inning. Garcia spins off and looks Robinson back to second base. Pitch is too little at first. It is not in time as Schrader digs this one out, and the bases are loaded for Williams.
Looks like the first baseman Little just was not able to hold on to the ball. It looked like an easy play, but bobbled it, wasn't able to get back to first base on time.
That'll be an E3 on the fielder's choice. Curveball in for a strike as Williams swings. Pitch sails high for ball one. That'll even the count up, 1-1. Bases full of Leopards. The 1-1 pitch. Outside for ball two.
Matthew looking a little bit of frustration here. Needs to slow down.
The Leopards threatening here in the top of the fourth. They've already scored one. Swing and a miss from Williams.
That signature
for strike
pitch.
Two. That'll even the count up at 2. Could really use this out in a big way.
Certainly can. That was his signature pitch, straight down the middle.
The 2-2 from Garcia. Swing and a miss, and he strikes him out for out number 2. That is just what the Raiders needed and what Garcia needed right here, as he would love to strand these 3 runners and get out of the inning with a lead. Back to the top of the order with Livingston as he takes for ball one. The 1-0, that's cut on. That's hit down the third base side. And there, Upchurch loses the handle on it. And everybody reaches safely. That'll go an E5 on the fielder's choice.
Just another fielding error. The Raiders are struggling to catch the ball tonight, Michael. These easy ground balls, they're bobbling them.
And we are in a tie ball game here in the top of the fourth. We're all knotted up at 3. Pitch from Garcia sails high for ball one as the catcher, Forrest, stands in. The 1-0 pitch from Garcia misses down and away for ball 2. Two balls, no strikes to Forrest. Bases loaded. The 2-0 pitch from Garcia. This is cut on and fouled back out of play for strike one. There's some of those old Rouse sound effects.
Sounds like they made it
Still
over
there.
to the new computer.
we've got a few of them along the way. We got some 23-19 and some of those. Well, Scott Jacobs actually got those. Ball hangs upstairs for ball 3. And Forrest ahead in the count, 3-1, and he should be looking for a strike right here, as Garcia has no place to put him. So 3-1, this is cut on and hit out to deep right center. And that falls in for a hit, and that'll score 2. Well, actually, he scored 3. With a double for Forrest on the, well, it wouldn't be a double, as it should have been a catch. That'll be an E9 on the right fielder. That'll bring up Smeckhammer.
And the Leopards have really come on strong here in the 4th inning. They've taken base running advantages of the fielding mistakes that the Raiders are continuing to make. They're doing it to themselves tonight.
Pitch in from Garcia for a strike to Schmeckhammer. Jared Southard picks up the error. The 0-1. High and outside for ball 1. Raiders came into this top half leading 3-1 and are now down 6-3. The 1-1 pitch in for a called strike.
One more, Garcia, one more. Finish him.
One on with 2 out here in the top of the 4th. The pitch for Garcia, that's got on and fouled off as they had the hit and run going. And courtesy runner will return back. Swain is running for the catcher. The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. And that'll end the top half, but some serious damage done as the Leopards able to put 5 on the board, and all of them on errors.
All of them on errors. Leopards leave the 4th with 5 hits, only 1 more than the Raiders. Raiders got some work cut out for them as they come back in.
On to the bottom we go as Lorena scores 5 on no hits and 3 errors. And leave 1 stranded. On to the bottom of the 4th we go. Here Rouse Raiders now trailing 6-3 here in Leander. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. I'm Michael Francis alongside Scott Mount. Pleasure to have Scott with us tonight.
Pleasure to be here, Michael. Had Mark Glenn in the booth a little earlier, our mentor. You know, you mentioned Scott Jacobs earlier. Scott, a longtime alum whose son went through the program, probably one of the first players when the school opened. Scott Jacobs got the booster club started up and running.
Scott's oldest son, Kyle, was a member of the Alpha class, first class to graduate from Rouse. And Scott, one of the first coaches to coach the pre-freshman teams, and also the summer and the fall.
Summer and fall league. Yeah.
Baseball. Mark and Scott, Brian Knapp.
Brian Knapp, yep.
Pitch from Livingston to Upchurch. Gets the outside corner for a strike. The 0-1. This is popped up and playable.
I think that's one of the strengths of our program, Michael, is our pre-freshmen that those gentlemen started.
Schmeckhammer makes the catch, and Upchurch is retired for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Matthew Garcia. He takes for ball one. So one thing that we definitely had, we've had great parent support over the years, and a lot of dads that had coached a lot of select and Little League baseball at LCP and then what became CPYL.
CPY, right.
So a lot of rich tradition that was started here early at Rouse High School. That pitch goes underneath Forrest's legs to the backstop. Count goes to 2-1 to Garcia. 2-1 pitch from Livingston. A swing and a miss, and that'll even the count. Been a lot of good talent go through Rouse High School over the years. It didn't always equate to wins, but you had a lot of good players. Pitch fouled back and out of play. The count will remain even.
Now, you mentioned earlier we lost quite a few seniors. One of them was our all-state catcher, Cody Vanoy.
And he was in town this week as the Longhorns hosted UTRGV.
Gave him quite a game.
They did. Gave them all they could handle and then some. Garcia retired on the strikeout. Two away for Tanner Robbins. Nobody on here in the bottom of the fourth.
Umpire having a chat with our first base coach. As he saw something he didn't like.
Sometimes you wonder, as umpires have their pet peeves, as Livingston paints the outside corner for strike one. The 0-1 to Robbins. This is hit back up the middle. This will be a base hit for Tanner Robbins.
Tanner got a good piece of that one right up the middle. See if we can get a little two-out rally going.
One on with 2 outs for number 6, Jake Aleppo.
See if Alepa's new nickname will bring some hitting luck. It certainly did down in Corpus. They have a little bit of a hole to dig out of.
Livingston delivers. Curveball in for a strike.
The coach is signaling his play.
We're in the bottom of the fourth with 2 outs. Raiders trailing 6-3 after coming into this inning. And that was
an interesting
little play there.
The old Statue of Liberty, who has the baseball play, and
right.
They were going to have him out, and then the second baseman dropped the baseball.
Livingston made a wide of the bag throw back to second as Robbins was scampering on his way to second. And Robinson steals the bag. Pitch misses down and away for ball one. That'll even the count up at 1. Livingston picks up the sign for Forrest. Tanner Robbins standing at second. Trade places, as they say. Livingston delivers and misses low for ball 2.
I believe Livingston really wanted that call, but the umpire's not going to give up that outside corner so easily.
Jake Aleppo batting from the right side. Dalton Porter on deck. The pitch from Livingston. Hanging curveball gets the inside corner for strike 2. Deuces wild to Aleppo. Pitch from Livingston. This is a comebacker. Throw over to first, and that'll end it for the Raider 4th. Raiders get no runs on one hit, leave one stranded, and on to the 5th we go with your Rouse Raiders trailing 6-3 to the Lorena Leopards.
That's been our story since the first inning, where the Raiders came out very aggressive. Got a few runs on the board, but since then it's been stranding our base runners.
You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. I'm Michael Francis alongside Scott Mount.
The rookie.
Scott doing a fine job tonight. His first time on the broadcast and doing color. He's doing a great job.
Thank you.
Doesn't show any nervousness so far that I'm aware of. He seems comfortable in his skin.
Well, we'll see.
Raiders make a pitching change, and this looks like it's going to be Diaz. Colby Diaz comes on in relief of Matthew Garcia. Matthew Garcia goes 4 complete innings. He's on the hook for this one.
Colby's another legacy player. His older brother went through the program.
Caleb Diaz graduated. He's one of those 16 that graduated last year.
One of those 16 that we lost. And
Mark had 2 boys go through the program. I had 2 boys go through the program. Scott Jacobs had 2 boys go through the program.
Go.
Great things happen in twos. Tim graduated back in 2014.
That's right.
Seth graduated last year. He was one of those 16. And that ended my children's run at Rouse High School. And as I had mentioned to somebody earlier, I have been had a student in here since the inception of Rouse High School.
And you're still here, and that's what we need. We need good parent involvement, good alum to come back and keep this program going.
All right, I'm going to get this scoreboard set, and hopefully going forward, I'm going to train Scott here to run the scoreboard, because I will be keeping a book myself and keep a much better, more accurate of at-bats and everything to be able to record to you. First pitch from Diaz, called strike.
I'm not sure I remember that being in the brochure.
To Ustenic.
Having to multitask, but we'll give it a whirl.
Multitasking is a great thing. I've been privileged to do it over the past couple of years. Last year, I was doing what you're doing. I was the analyst, and on home games, I was running the PA and the scoreboard.
That's right, double duty.
So I had 3 things going, and it made for an interesting experience, to say the least. So home games, I didn't get to do the play-by-play, but the away games, I can get to do the play-by-play. Pitch in for a strike, and Ustenic finds himself with an even count. 2-2. Pitch in the dirt, and the count will go full. Not only is Colby a legacy player, he's also a freshman.
Also a freshman. We have a few on the team on this varsity squad.
The payoff pitch, it's swung on and fouled back out of play. The count will remain full to Ustenick. Bell on deck for the Leopards. Kingsbury gives the sign. The payoff pitch in the dirt for ball 4. One on with no outs here in the top of the 5th. That'll bring up Bell.
You know, Michael, with our current infield, the only senior we have out there is Dylan Lewis at second.
Throw from Diaz to first, not in time, as Ustenick gets back in, standing up. Diaz from the stretch. This is cut on, hit to Upchurch at third, throw over to second in time. Not time to turn to double play on the fielder's choice. That they get the lead out, and Ustenick is sent to the bench.
Upchurch really made a good throw from there, from his knees, caught the ball, had good control, was able to get it over to Lewis.
Bell jumps on the first pitch from Diaz, and that'll bring up Robinson, number 22. One away. As Bell takes off to second, bad throw from Kingsbury. Hits out to center field, and Bell moves over to third base on the bad throw. Pitch was called a strike. The 0-1 in the dirt for ball 1. That'll even the count. Raiders played these same Leopards up in the Waco tournament and beat them 8-2 previously. Pitch in the dirt for ball 2.
Leopard duck out, really giving Diaz a hard time now.
And we'll see how the young freshman keeps his composure. See toes in on the rubber. The Leopards took one on the chin in the previous game before this one as they lost to Midland 9-1. Pitch from Diaz, low and in outside for ball 3. Just a guess. I think they might be getting to him.
I think they're getting to him.
The 3-1 from Diaz in the dirt for ball 4.
Well, and that's something every pitcher has to go through. Baptism by fire.
Every one of them do, and as a parent, you don't like your little boy to be picked on by the mean old team in that opposite dugout, but you're right, it's a part of the game. Coach Crimpine calls time. Well, I don't think that's Coach Crimpine. I think that's
I'm not. Is that Coach Richards out there?
Coach Richard goes to the mound.
Is that a
Runners on the corners for the Leopards with one out here in the top of the 5th. And that'll bring up Strand. Strand kind of got things opened up back in the fourth and kind of started getting the scoring runs going as he delivered a double. Diaz from the stretch. As Strand lays down a bunt, that'll score a run on the sacrifice. 1 run is in. 1 run advances, or runner advances to second.
He really laid down a bunt in the perfect position for that. Scored the runner from third.
Two away for Schrader. And Robinson scampers down to third base.
Leopards playing some small ball here.
Swing and a miss from Schrader. That'll even the count up at 1. The 1-1. Nice looking pitch. Not sure where that missed, but doesn't get the call. 2-1 the count now. Called strike to Schrader. That'll even the count back up. Deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 1 on, runner at third. Schrader takes for ball 3 and the count goes full. Payoff pitch. That's cut on and hit down the third baseline. That's going to be fair. That will score. Robinson. It goes all the way to the fence. And he's safe as he legs it out into a triple. Schrader with the triple.
Good running on the base paths there. Of course, the Rouse fans are not happy with the call.
Well, I think it's the right call. It was inside the bag.
It's certainly the right call. It's where the baseball goes over the bag before it goes past it. And it was inside.
It's a fair ball.
It's a fair ball.
He took it right down that third baseline. We got a pinch hitter. Bo Schmeckhammer stands in. He digs in from the left side. See. Falls behind, 0-2 in the count. And Lorena has opened this game up as your Rouse Raiders now trail 8-3. Swing and a miss, and the side is finally retired. But not until after the Leopards put 2 more across the plate and take a 8-3 lead into the bottom of the 5th.
And once again, Mike, the Leopards only have 6 hits. It's the errors that are certainly hurting the Raiders tonight.
Definitely, and that's been historically that's what's hurt the Raiders. The past couple of years, since Coach Crampine came on board, errors were at a minimum.
Yes.
And we're not seeing that this year.
This year's been a rebuilding year, no doubt.
On to the bottom of the 5th we go. Your Rouse Raiders trailing the Leopards 8-3. Livingston back on to pitch the 5th for the Leopards. Livingston had a rocky start as the Raiders jumped on him back in the first inning and drove in 3 runs, but have been ineffective since the first inning.
The Raiders really came out strong and aggressive that first inning. We're swinging the bat.
Number 55, Dalton Porter, will lead off for the Raiders in their bottom half of the 5th.
One thing that hasn't changed is we still have a strong wind blowing straight out to left field.
Livingston from the windup, swing and a miss as he puts it right down the middle for strike 1. The 0-1 pitch, curveball in for a strike. Nice inside pitch from Livingston. Porter finds himself down in the count, 0-2. Porter just gets a piece of it. Able to stay alive. Dalton Porter definitely not shy when he's in that box. He will swing at pitches. This one sails high and outside, gets away from Livingston. I think he tried to get a curveball in there, but it lost the handle. Ball 1-1-2 the count to Dalton Porter, who cuts on this one, sends it foul down the first baseline. One and two the count. Livingston picks up the sign from Forrest. He winds and delivers. It's in the dirt for ball 2. That'll even the count up. Two, and he knew it. That pitch was perfect.
That was his pitch, and
he didn't argue.
I agree
that
with
at
you,
all.
Michael. He knew it, and just froze him at the plate. You hate to see that. Don't let the umpire make the call for you.
Right. That's one thing we've taught kids from Little League. Don't let them make the decision. Pitch in for a strike as Connor Bennett stands in.
Our home plate umpire tonight, though, has been consistent on both sides.
Man, Livingston is in a zone as he drops this one in for strike 2. 0-2 the count to Bennett. The pitch. This is a comebacker. In and out of the glove of Livingston. He's able to get the handle on it in time, and Bennett is retired for out number 2.
Livingston had to make that quick play. That was more of a self-defense move. Got his glove up.
That'll bring up the hard-hitting Lance Little.
See if Lance can get another 2-out rally going. Lance also gained a nickname down in Corpus. They kept calling him Lucas.
Lucas, you'll have to explain that one. Wow, I'm surprised he didn't give him that one. He's been dropping that in for a strike all night. But he doesn't get the call on that. So, yeah, you'll have to enlighten me.
We were all wondering how you can get Lance or Lucas out of Lance, and it just stuck. It's just another one like Aleppo.
Right.
The announcers down in the Corpus tournament.
Another comebacker to Livingston. Throws over to first. And the side is retired. 1, 2, 3, go the Raiders. And on to the 6th we go.
Now the Raiders don't look like the same form they had at the first couple of innings.
No runs, no hits, nobody left on. After 5 complete, your Rouse Raiders trail 8-3. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. Colby Diaz comes out for his second inning of work. Have some defensive changes for the Raiders. Hayden Asbury is now playing at first base. Let's see, how many other changes have taken place out there? Can't see who's out in left field now.
I'm not sure if that's still Cervantes out there.
Cervantes? I can't tell.
I'll get an official spotter.
That, and we've got a new center fielder. And the way I can tell that is Porter's left-handed.
That's true.
And that's a right-hander out there in center. So we've made some defensive changes. Swing and a miss as Livingston stands in. He misses for strike one. The pitch for Diaz. Paints the outside corner for strike two.
So center field is going to be number 21, Robert Mount. No, excuse me, left field.
Swing and a miss from Livingston, and he is retired for out number one. That'll bring up the catcher, Forrest, number 7. Pitch from Diaz, swing and a miss for strike one.
I think Kane Adamas is our new center fielder.
Glad you told me how to say that. I would have struggled with that one. I don't know if that's Adams or Adames or the 1-1, swing and a miss from Forrest.
We'll go with that tonight, and then we'll see what happens tomorrow. Bring some binoculars up here with us.
Right. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pitch, swing and a miss. And Forrest is retired for out number 2.
With 2 outs, number 3, Ben Smithhammer.
Smedhammer comes in. He's batting from the right side. He takes for ball 1. Diaz delivers. Swing and a miss, or foul. I guess he got a piece of it. That leaving the count up at 1. A 1-1. In for a called strike as he drops that one in. 1-2. The count to Smedhammer. Swing and a miss. Kingsbury has it on the drop third. Throws it over in time, and the side is retired. 1, 2, 3, go the Leopards. On to the bottom we go.
Raiders got some work for them. But
Raiders do have their work for them. They're down to their final 6 outs.
that was a really good outing for Diaz, though. He needed that. He was in good command of all of his pitches.
A good quick inning for him. As 1, 2, 3. Go. The Leopards. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. I'm Michael Francis alongside Scott Mount. Scott, a former Booster Club president.
Certainly enjoyed those 2 years, and being a senior parent, it was time to allow some new ideas in, new blood.
Right.
And really happy we have SHN back with us this year. They did an outstanding job last year, as you did with Mark Glenn.
Mark, my broadcast partner for 4 years. As
we
we formerly broadcast our games on the high school cube, but NFHS ended up buying the cube out, and it was no longer free for us to do that, and we did not have the technology and the wherewithal to continue doing our own broadcasts. So we sought a broadcast partner, and we found SHN Sports, and you reached out to them, and
Rob was extremely helpful last year, kind of held our hand with the Booster Club and walked us through the process. The other thing is they're a local company.
Number 32, Kate Adamas, stands in for the first time tonight as he faces Livingston. He takes for ball 1.
You said that just right.
A little chopper down the third base side. Throw over to first will be in time, and Adamas is retired. One away. For Dylan Lewis as he comes in. Or actually comes to the plate. Livingston winds, he delivers. Check swing, lays off, in for a called strike.
As I said, Dylan's another one of our seniors this year. Has been in the program since the pre-freshman.
Pitch cut on and hit foul out of play for strike 2. Raiders trailing in this one 8-3. Pitch sails high for ball 1. The 1-2 is cut on and fouled back. Lewis stays alive. So we've had a lot of good parents through the years that swing and a miss, and Lewis is retired for out number 2.
Yeah, I see some more alumni parents down there. Looks like Lee and Jamie Bazemore. Their son Matt graduated last year.
Yep.
All-star first baseman.
I think of, people that have served in the Booster Club and for multiple years. I think Kyle Ward.
Kyle Ward, yeah.
He was
Joe Dominguez.
He was the father of Taylor and Bryce Ward. There's another 2 players.
There's another 2 players we lost.
Strike 1, a swing and a miss to Upchurch for strike 2. Nothing in 2, the count to Isaac Upchurch. The pitch from Livingston, swing and a miss. And the Raiders are retired in order, 1, 2, 3. On to the 7th we go.
Well, the Raiders look like they've certainly run out of a little bit of steam here.
Yeah, they've got a little light on the starch. As we previously mentioned, you know, they jumped on Lorena early in the first and plated 3 runs and got to Livingston quick, but Livingston has settled down and he has shut the Raiders down
He
since.
certainly has. He's had an outstanding performance tonight.
Colby Diaz on to pitch the 7th. He had a stellar inning back in the 6th as he got the side out in order after kind of a shaky 5th inning.
All right, he settled down. The Leopards were doing what the opposing team was supposed to do, giving him a little bit of hassle. When he was able to keep his composure and shake it off.
Left-handed pitcher warming up in the Leopard bullpen. Number 2, Hermelin, getting loose. I think some more changes defensively for the Raiders, but like you said, we need binoculars. I do have a pair in that backpack right there. Diaz delivers for strike 1. As Ustanik stands in, and he swings and misses for strike 2. 0-2 the count to number 16, Ustanik. The 0-2 pitch from Diaz, a swing and a miss from Ustanik. He runs down the line on drops to the strike. Kingsbury gets it there in time, and Ustanik is retired.
Yeah, we haven't mentioned him much tonight, Michael, but Kingsbury's really caught a really good game tonight.
He has. He's done a good job behind the plate. That'll bring up number 8, sorry, Bell for the Leopards. Diaz deals down and away for ball 1. One out with nobody on for Bell. Pitch misses inside for ball 2.
Well, normally he was getting that call, but that was inside.
Diaz delivers a curveball, gets the inside corner for strike 1. Two and 1 the count for Diaz. The pitch. This is cut on and hit to deep left. Fielder over. That's going to fall in. He just lost sight of it completely.
And Mount lost sight of it in the lights there.
Because he didn't realize he'd overrun it. And it falls in safe. No error. That's a hit. Bell with the double.
I'm not sure Robert's girlfriend, who's in the stands, is pleased with that.
1 on with 1 out. Runner at second. Bell. That'll bring up number 22, Robinson. Takes for ball 1. One-0 pitch from Diaz coming up. From the stretch, a swing and a miss. That'll even the count up at 1. Friends, we will be back with you tomorrow night as your Rouse Raiders take on Midland. And it'll be the same game start time at 8 o'clock.
Hopefully the weather will hold out.
One on with one out, runner at second. Pitch misses for ball two. The count evens. And then also South by Southwest starts up this weekend.
South by Southwest. We've got a full weekend of activities in the Central Texas area.
The 2-2. A hit and run on. Adamas over, makes the catch. Bell wisely returns back to second base as he took off for third on the hit and run, and he turned about midway back and midway there and headed
decided
back
to come
second.
back.
Yeah. Two away, and that'll bring up number 4, Strand, as he takes for strike one.
For all our Aggie fans out there, they're playing Gonzaga Saturday the 9th at home.
March Madness starting up. And throw back, not in time, as Diaz tries to throw Bell out at second. Hit and run called again, and this one's swung on and fouled back out of play for 2 strikes. One on with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th, with the Leopards leading 8-3 over your Rouse Raiders. Pitch misses inside for ball one. District play starts next week.
Certainly does.
As Rouse will take on Marble Falls. Pitch inside. Throw will not happen as Kingsbury hangs on, and Bell with the stolen bag. On the ball. Deuce is wild. This is cut on and hit out to center. This is going to fall in for a base hit. And actually going to turn it into a double, maybe a triple. And Strand legs it out, and he will be in with a stand-up triple.
Just got by the center fielder.
As Adamas dove to try to make the catch, and he gets by him. And Robert Mount runs the ball down and gets it back into play, but that allows Strand to get to third base. Leopards with a 9-3 lead. As Schrader comes to the plate, number 12 for the Leopards. And the Leopards have broken this one open.
They have. They've got 8 hits now.
Pitch in for a strike. The 0-1, swing and a miss for strike 2. One on with 2 outs. Runner at third. Strahan at third. Diaz picks up the sign for Kingsbury, and that'll hit him.
Breaking ball didn't quite break.
Didn't quite break. And that'll put the runner on. You hate to lose that. You had him in an 0-2 count. Now runners on the corners. Smedhammer batting from the left side. Pitch from Diaz. It's inside for ball one. The 1-0. This is cut on, hit down the first base side. First baseman has it. And the side is finally retired, but Lorena able to get another run across the plate. And managed to get a couple of hits out of that. So 1 run on 2 hits. 1 left on. On to the bottom of the 7th we go with your Rouse Raiders trailing by 6.
Have a good time. Let's see if these Rouse Raiders can get it going in this bottom. Give them a big hand, make sure you support them, and let's see what we can do.
And the Raiders in a deep hole, and you talk about a 2-hat rally. A rally needing to go here, not 2 out. Time to put the land shark hats on, right?
Something.
The rally caps, turn them inside out, and however that goes.
Our partners in the press box, they're joining in.
Pitching change for the Leopards, number 18, Thompson, comes on in relief of Livingston. Livingston with an outstanding performance tonight, other than that rocky first inning.
Other than that, he readjusted, got his control,
And
pitched a really stellar game.
He silenced the Raider bats.
Quite a few of the Leopard fans are still here.
The Raiders will be, as we mentioned earlier, will be in district action next week against the Marble Falls Mustangs.
It's part of the realignment that occurred again, I guess.
They will be playing on the 12th at Marble Falls, and then the 15th they will be playing here. I believe that is a Tuesday and a Friday game.
He'll be relieved by number 18, Thompson.
Umpire doing a little home plate maintenance. Seen a lot of baseball today. How many teams came through today? We started at 10, I believe.
Right.
Full day of baseball.
Number 11, Seth Castellano, comes to the plate for the first time tonight as he takes for strike 1.
Make a shout out to the Leander School District maintenance crews. I was up here early this morning. They were already out at 6:30 mowing and chalking the field.
The 0-1, this is cut on and hit high and shallow right. Robinson over and makes the catch, and Castellano is retired.
With 1 out, designated hitter, and the Robbins, number 4, substitute.
Number 4, Tanner Robbins, digs back in. He's batting from the right side. Pitch popped up and fouled back out of play for strike 1. So all these games that the Raiders have been playing, none of them count. The ones that count start next week. Pitch misses low for ball 1.
And that's the advantage of these tournaments, Michael. They get to see some quality play, quality teams.
The 1-1 pitch, that's cut on. That's almost through the gap, and he's going to beat it out as he hits it deep to the outfield grass as shortstop went opposite glove hand and unable to get up and get it over in time to get the out. That'll be an infield hit for Robbins. That's his second hit of the night. Swing and a miss from Aleppo. as he now stands in. 1 on with 1 out. Raiders trail this one by 6, 9-3, here in the bottom of the 7th. Pitch misses low for ball 1. Thompson, a tall, lanky right-hander. Robbins dives back in at first to throw over, not in time as Thompson throws over. One pitch for Thompson. That's popped up and out of play for strike 2.
Looked like Lee Bazemore down there tried to catch it.
One and 2 the count to Jake Aleppo. Thompson checks Robbins over at first. Comes set. The pitch. In for called strike 3, and Aleppo is sat down. Raiders down to their final out. Number 21, Robert Mount.
Well, the pressure's on.
Stands in as he takes for ball 1. Thompson checks Robbins over at first. From the stretch. That's cut on. That's hit down the third base side. Third baseman has it, throws over in time, and that'll end the game. And your Rouse Raiders drop a heartbreaking loss.
They drop a heartbreaker. They came out of the barn early, aggressive, but tonight the errors just they could not overcome the fielding errors.
Raiders give up 9 runs on 8 hits and no errors. Well, no errors on Lorena, but
on Lorena,
several errors given up by Rouse, and I'd say probably in the neighborhood of 6. I don't have it written down, but a heartbreaking loss to Lorena. They drop the second of 2 games today. They win the first one versus the Maroons of Austin High and drop one to the Lorena Leopards. And tomorrow morning, or tomorrow, I believe at 12:30, they will take on the Rangers from Vista Ridge. And then they will close out the nightcap at 8 o'clock versus Midland High.
And we'll be back
right
for that
here,
game.
And we will be back for that one. Once again, Raiders drop a heartbreaker to the Lorena Leopards, 9-3. Friends, we won't waste a lot of time. It's a late night, and so we got to get things going after 10 o'clock. So
thank you, Michael, for my first
Scott,
time. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you sitting in with us, and next time we'll have more polish on it as we work through some technical difficulties to get on air.
Looking forward to it.
But we're looking forward to getting everything in rhythm and get all the rust knocked off ourselves and bring you a good quality broadcast. We thank you for listening in, and we hope you enjoyed listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. Good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Good night, and God bless from Raider Field.